president the ambit within which to operate. That's what they have done.
Hold on. Is there a portion of the Constitution that says that any law or bill or order or resolution that goes contrary to the Constitution is considered null and void?
Is there.
Section 1, subsection 3. Every other thing that is against the Constitution is void to the extent of that inconsistency.
Mr. President, if I were him, I would first sign the bill.
No.
And if I'm not comfortable with it, I will now subject it to judicial interpretation. He can go to court and say, look,
that is a contradiction. That is a contradiction. That is a contradiction
of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And I want the court to give their pronouncement.
No.
And then they would have given their pronouncement, and then the president would have a good outcome. The issue is the National Assembly people are they are the bosses of Mr. President. And whatever they say is binding on him.
Sir, do you know what I just said? You are saying that the man should contradict himself. The man is aware that there's a constitutional contradiction, and you are saying he should first sign. He should sign away his freedom.
I have said there's no constitutional contradiction at all. What you have in Section 67 says may. And the new bill is saying shall. There's a difference.
Are you aware of the right of the constitutional provision in fundamental human rights to freedom of thought?
This has nothing to do with freedom of thought.
To freedom of expression.
Are preaching that. They are merely giving additional list, additional work to Mr. President.
No.
That is what they're simply doing.
What they have to do is pass laws for the good governance and order of the country.
So in what way is this new bill in violent conflict with good governance? I would think it is helping to advance good governance.
The language of compelling the president. And I thought politics was about persuasion. About lobby.
Of course, it should be.
Why don't you seek to persuade the president? Why should come regularly? Look at, can we take an example?
You and I do know.
Can we take an example?
Working is not an exciting thing.
Wait.
Most time people have to be compelled to do certain things.
Can we take a practical example, please? Regularly, some of the governors in this country, I do not want to zero in on Fashola. Regularly, he addresses.
Let me ask you one question.
Please, let me land.
One issue which Mr. Igbe has raised, the moderator, which is very, very important. He said that bill was passed in 2004, and the president then refused to accept.
Was introduced
in 2004.
Was passed in 2010.
And it was 2010. But the Mr. President at that period in time refused to assent to it.
Yes.
Why did he refuse to assent to it?
Because it
and then this president is trying to refuse to assent to it. You also remember that when the Freedom of Information Bill was first passed by Obasanjo, Obasanjo refused to assent to it.
Yes.
That bill again passed and then before Jonathan assented to. Why is it that they always shy with certain bills that compel them to do certain things?
Can we concentrate on something, please?
We are ready.
You have said that the introduced bill contradicts the Constitution.
Like I don't say it contradicts the Constitution.
That, and he asked, the moderator asked, whether there was a provision in the Constitution that says if there's an inconsistency with the Constitution, what happens to that letter provision? And we say that the letter provision is void to the extent of its inconsistency. Now here is the president of the country who is saying, look, what you are asking me to sign is like you are asking me to commit suicide. You are asking me to sign away. Wait, please. You are asking me to sign away my discretion. If I don't want to address you, why will you compel me to address you? You look at what things I have done. I don't
know whether you have been in paid employment before.
Yes, I have been in paid employment.
Yes. When you are in paid employment, when you give your letter of contract of employment, is your job schedule not usually specified in the job?
Yes, it is.
Your letter of appointment.
Yes.
So what is wrong with the National Assembly adding additional responsibility to Mr. President to carry out?
That's what the Assembly the ones that gave him a letter of employment?
Thank you.
No, not additional responsibility for him.
Which is in violation
of course. I have cited part 2. Section 4.2 of the Constitution of Federal Republic that says the National Assembly have power to make laws for good governance.
Good governance.
Okay, so that is what they are doing.
Hello, can I ask another question?
So the government, they're to make laws for good governance of the country. Does it include
of the nation?
Reducing the powers of discretion of the president?
That is it. That is just the question.
Hello. It does not in any way reduce it.
What is this talk? I am just wondering.
No, but hold on. What's wrong with the president assenting to the bill?
Look, it's saying, I don't like the language.
What is wrong with it? Is it the language that is the problem?
Yes, look, you're asking me.
Not the workability. Not the workability.
Hello. He's not quarreling with the workability or the good nature of the bill itself.
He's saying,
but the
you cannot compel me. That is it. That after all, there's the doctrine of separation of powers.
Yeah.
It's like you are telling a judge that there's a case in your court, you must not do this within the.
No, those are two different.
No, they are not two different things. Please. Like you are telling a judge, these are the cases you can undo, and these are the cases you cannot undo. It's like the special. No, they are not exactly different. So what we are saying is that the man has looked at the constitutional provision as they are now.
I have also looked at it.
No.
And I have seen
and
all the different complaints
and the addition is introducing.
As he's introducing to this bill and all that. And I say most of his complaints are neither here nor there.
No.
It's just an excuse to shy away from
Certainly not. Certainly not. It did not only keep quiet. He sent a letter. He sent a letter.
I have read his 10 letters and I've
and the letter was just read when we came in.
I have also read
after our introduction.
And I've read the constitutional provision that
please, can you help us?
This bill is in violent conflict.
One or two things that he complained about.
What? He says that the bill is in conflict with Section 67 of the Constitution of Federal Republic of Nigeria. That is one. He also said that the language of the bill was not polite enough. That is does not mean so. It's not parliamentary.
What do you think should do the next thing?
He also said that the law also said the National Assembly has the power to regulate the procedures of this bill instead of using the word act. And I said these are mere semantics.
No, they're not semantics. They are not semantics.
They are not semantics.
No, there's a difference between an
What
act
do you mean by separation of power? In what way does asking the president to come and address the nation in the state of the nation addressing breaching the separation of power?
And ask you a question.
I'm ready to hear.
How about asking the president to build refineries and compelling him?
Absolutely, there's nothing wrong with
How
that.
about asking the president to provide air?
Issues of building refinery and not building refineries will also arise when Mr. President delivers the state of the nation.
Can I ask another innocent question, please?
Fine.
This compulsion, as it were, this compelling law, which is still being proposed, not a law yet, it's not an act.
I have said we should take note of one thing. Our historical antecedent as a nation.
I'm only trying
Why
to ask you a
is it
question.
that most people in the executive arm of government,
Remember, I have not been there.
And the governors who always
I have
want to
not
shy
been
away from their
president.
responsibility? Why is it that they don't want to be accountable to their people? Why is it that they hate to talk to their people each time they have been asked to do so?
Hello?
That is the issue we should be addressing.
You are refusing to acknowledge the fact that the gentleman has addressed this nation a number of times.
How many times?
It's insignificant.
When he was going to, he addressed us on the Boko Haram issue.
Please, can we?
He also addresses us when he's presenting his budget.
Can we put it in perspective, please? I beg you.
Yeah, that is what we should be doing.
This bill that is being introduced. How does it benefit Nigerians as against a bill? Let me land, please. Let me land,
it's time to create a benchmark for Mr. President.
How about a bill?
The bill intends to create a benchmark for Mr. President performance in office.
Before you land, we'll just need to take a quick break. And as we go on break, there's a school of thought that believes that the State of the Nation address, a State of the Nation address is an outward expression of the discontent of the lawmakers over the president's penchant. That's what they say for treating the resolutions and bills passed by them with what they say is disdain. That's a school of thought. But other countries use the State of the Nation address to advance good governance and well-being of their people. Anyway, we'll take a break. You can be a part of our conversation at Twitter or your mails. We'll be back shortly. Please don't go away. Okay, we have comments coming in. This is from Senator Odum Badmus. It says, the refusal of the president is a reflection of how impunity and negligence characterize Nigeria's democracy and polity. Accountability is a key determinant of democracy. That's from Senator Odum Badmus. Ibrahabu, he didn't say where he's writing from. He says, Omolaja is not defending the president well. So the president must talk to the nation always because we voted him in power. Adedoyin Kasumu Makaben. Well, they are pouring in here, but hey, let's get down to our discussion. Let's continue where we left up. Okay, so we're saying, are the lawmakers angry? Is this bill a way to get back at the president?
Honestly, that's the way I see it. I see them laying the template.
And you don't think they are actually representing Nigeria?
No, they have never represented me anyway. They have been there for their selfish ends. Ever since they were there with our father Shuba Ogadibo, telling the whole nation that, look, I am not a poor man. I am not in the National Assembly to be poor again. And they were asking for 3.5 million for furniture. And at the end of the day, each of them got 5 million naira as furniture allowance. So what have they really done in the National Assembly that has put
Shakiru,
let me land. It has everything to do with it.
Well, hold on.
They are not concentrating.
If the National Assembly, the question, you said something earlier about different segments of government. I mean, three arms of government.
Yes, exactly.
But I thought the three arms were there for checks and balances.
Great, great. But now you now want to breathe down the neck of the other person. You want to compel him. You want to now say, no, it's not done. Whatever you want to do, you do it within the arms, within the provisions of the law.
It's not about the administration right now. It's something that's supposed to be.
Ego has come in. Laws are not. The law is not made for Goodluck Jonathan. This is a law that will always be there. In 2000, and maybe Jonathan will spend another 6 years or thereabout. Thereafter, he leaves, some other president will come in. But that law will remain a law of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And then it's applicable to other presidents that are coming before him. Again, but Jonathan has taken it as a personal thing. Which I think he ought not to do.
No,
he has not.
Or the president has
and it's not about the president, it's about the
bill. It's about good governance in Nigeria.
The president has not taken it personally. The president is only saying, hey, gentlemen, what you are trying to do is dangerous. You want
he could have done that. He could have done that in a better way.
That is exactly
if I will sign the bill first and then propose an amendment to the assembly.
Wouldn't that be allowing the lawmakers to take on too much powers?
No, I don't think so.
Hello?
I don't think so. Like he has said, there's separation of power. Anytime the National Assembly people try to overreach themselves, if they want to take away president's power and order, the judiciary is always there to interpret the law and put a check on order. All that Mr. President needs to do is to subject some of this to judicial interpretation.
May I ask you another simple question,
yes,
please?
I'm ready
Which
to
one
hear
is
you
better
out.
and easier and more progressive than for the man to refuse upfront that this law is draconian? This law will emasculate whoever is the president. This law will put the executive.
The refusal also goes to no issue at all because the issue is this. If after 30 days they may refuse to assent to the bill,
for goodness sake,
and the bill is sent back to the National Assembly,
listen, please.
The president's assent can be overridden, and then the bill will be passed into law, and that is the end of the matter.
Listen to the question, please. Listen to the question.
So his refusal to sign the bill is neither here nor there. It's not helping. He is just antagonizing the National Assembly for no just cause. And if I
thought we were having a discussion. Are we having a discussion? Are we having a discussion?
Here is the president, I'm sorry to use the word, whose image in the public domain is not too good enough.
Look,
and
we are not here to discuss that.
Opportunity to defend himself.
No, we're almost out of time. Gentlemen,
you must answer this question. You are afraid of the question. You are afraid of the question. That's the reason why you don't answer the question. Which one is easier? Which one is easier? For the president to say, look, this law is not properly drafted. The way you have put it, you emasculate the executive. Do a rethink about the law. Then when it is properly presented, I will sign. Other than you saying that the man should drink poison first and then seek a doctor later. You are saying that you should sign the bill and then go to court.
I disagree with you.
I disagree with that your logic.
I have looked at that law very critically. And I've also looked at all the excuses that Mr. President has given.
But that is you.
And I say they are neither here nor there. They don't go to no issue at all. That bill is not in conflict with Section 67 of the Constitution of the
The man is entitled to his thoughts. The man is entitled to his expression. The man says, look, I occupy this place today. I am not covering with what you have passed. Could you please look at it again? And remember. And the
coercive clauses that the people in the National Assembly have inserted into it is born out of our experience as a nation, in which when laws and bills are passed by the National Assembly, they never get implemented.
Because they are more interested in what money they collect and not in performing the oversight functions.
That is not true.
We have huge scandals. Remember, the scandal of Farouk Lawan is still there. The scandal of Elumelu is still there.
I am not here to speak for the National Assembly.
Oh, but you can speak for the president.
To look at the
but you can speak for the president.
How it's going to affect.
No, that is not fair enough. I thought you were here to discuss so that we help the country.
Let us reduce it to Mr. President.
No, but that's what you have done. That's what you have done.
And that of the
same National Assembly.
Is this bill going to help to advance the cause of democracy in this country or not? Is this bill going to sustain good governance? Is this bill going to help Mr. President to do his job better than he's been doing it before?
Can I answer your question? And Mr. President has said, yes, you have the duty to make laws. But when you make a law that will take away my power to function properly, I have a right to protest.
He does not have the president's power in any way.
Listen, look at what the man has done as a fine gentleman. He has written. It did not only take the look at the bill, he saw the bill and he has dignified the National Assembly by writing.
He has no option now.
What do you mean?
What do you mean by dignified? The people in the National Assembly are Mr. President's boss. He has no.
They are his boss.
That is obvious.
So we are talking about a master-servant relationship here now.
Let me say this. I've always said that, and I'm going to repeat it. That if the National Assembly today, perchance, say, look, pass a bill or a law after it's been assented to that, say, look, all men in Nigeria shall be called women, and all women shall be called men. If Mr. President assents to it, or if he fails to assent to it, and the people in the National Assembly override his assent and pass it into law, all people in Nigeria, all people all over the world shall be calling men women and women men.
You are
so
referring
it does not lie in the mouth of Mr. President to say that this law is not good.
It is not that
this law is bad. It doesn't lie in his mouth. That is left to judicial interpretation.
It's not Mr. President to say that. Did the president say the law is not good?
The president is saying he cannot sign it the way it is.
No,
he has not said it is not good. He is saying he cannot sign it the way it is.
Hold on. Is there anything wrong with the way the the bill was drafted.
Yeah, there are a few flaws in there, but it is not a way. But it is not enough to throw away the bill back to the National Assembly.
So what the president did, is that right?
No, it is wrong, totally wrong.
Asking that they
it is
rewrite
totally
it.
wrong.
Thank you. That is proper logic.
I would rather sign the bill into law first, and then maybe if I feel strongly about it, propose an amendment.
My friend, can we look at
that is a better way to handle
it? Can we look at this simple analogy? Thank you for listening to me.
We have 4 minutes to go.
Yes, no, a very simple analogy.
Yeah.
You have called an architect, a builder,
yeah,
to build a house for you. The architect has done the drawing.
Remember, we have just 4 minutes.
Please. I will
this analogy.
When you are interrupting me now, we will not land.
All right.
I'll take less than a minute.
All right.
And then the architect has done the drawing. The builder has noticed something fundamentally wrong with the foundation.
Yeah.
We now say, no, don't worry about the foundation. Complete the house. When you complete the house, we come and rectify the problem with the foundation. What is your answer to that?
No, the analogy does not hold.
No.
Why is that saying they don't know? When you look at all laws all over the world, and there is no law that is ever perfect. And that is why there is a provision. Even your constitution, you are amending and re-amending. And it is not just peculiar to Nigeria alone. All laws are always flexible to take cognizance of what the future holds, to also look at the past history of the country, and also to be able to accommodate some exigencies that you didn't envisage when you are passing the law into a bill. So there is no law that is ever perfect anywhere in the world. So if the president has seen some loopholes in this law and order, it does not lie in his mind, you should not sign it and then make some proposals.
Have you heard of this expression?
To amend it.
Prevention is better than cure. Prevention is not only better, it is cheaper.
We must not.
The man is saying
in running
this house
cannot stand. We should not give room for indolence.
The man has shown some intelligence.
We should not give room for indolence.
It's not indolence. The man has shown some discretion by saying, look, the way it is, this law cannot stand. This law is not fair. Why don't you put it properly so that we can work together?
The law will not stand if only it's in violent conflict with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
But it is already.
And I have said I have looked at that law. There is no way in where
that is no. But you are not Mr. You are not the president. You are not Mr. Jonathan. You are not the president of the country.
I am not.
So the president of the country, who is given the bill, the sign and the right, the duty to sign, says, look, what you are asking me to assent to will do damage to the future of this country. Please do it just
like,
way.
Just like past president said, the Freedom of Information Bill will do damage.
Well, and he has signed that. Are you with me? And then the Freedom of Information Bill
just said the bill will do damage to the presidency.
I think you should give some credit to President Jonathan. He has looked at the FOI bill, and which has today become an act. Okay. So the man is thinking.
Did he sign it voluntarily or he was compelled by public opinion?
Well, I don't know about that. You know about that. You know about that.
Now, as we round up here, you give your closing statement. This is it. The flouting the State of the Nation bill is an impeachable offense. That's according to the bill, Section 3. Powers to summon the president to account for his stewardship yearly, to be done on the first legislative day of July of every year.
To start this year.
Okay, so gentlemen, with this thought in mind, let's give our closing statements. You start. Okay. Go ahead.
Well, if I were Mr. President, I would see this bill as an opportunity to showcase what I have done for the Nigerian people, and also to give them an idea of what other divisions of democracy I have in stock for them. If there are loopholes in the law, there is always an opportunity to send the bill and amendment to the National Assembly, propose an amendment to the National Assembly. I shall be taking care of. There is no law anywhere in the world that is perfect at the first legislative drafting. That is why you always have provisions to amend laws, and also I think the law is an opportunity to really give good governance to Nigeria. Too many times the executive arms of government have shied away from their responsibility.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, the law as it is presented now will give problems to the future of this country. The president or the presidency does not want to send away its freedom, its ability to think, its right to a discretionary power. And he said, look, do not emasculate whoever is the president. What is wrong with that? He's saying that before you complete the house, the foundation is faulty. Rectify the problem in the foundation so that the house can stand. The man has not said, the president has not said, I will not ever sign this. Say, look at what you have presented. It is not fair. And I say, finally, the National Assembly, in their wisdom, should be kind enough to compel the president to build refineries, to make healthcare free for all.
Right.
No, that is a different thing.
Thank you very much.
Different things.
Thank you, Mr. Shakiru Omolaja. Thank you for having the program. And Mr. Tunde Kolawola.
It's a pleasure being here, Mr.
Promise, he signed the 2013 Budget and Assent Amendment 2 weeks after. Ebi Bozimo says the prerogative of leadership is discretion. You cannot compel the president in a democracy. Adetunji Olukayode says, Well, I uphold the school of thought that the National Assembly gave the president employment letter since they represent the electorate. Dari Taiwo says the people voted the president. He's answerable to them and he should give stewardship to the people. Angela, a law that seeks to make the president accountable to the people is draconian. He says, is that guy kidding me? Well, His Grace Stoba Ash says, I really don't know why you guys are arguing. Well, that's what that's how we'll have to let it go till we come here another same time next week. Have yourself a good night. I'm Neo Taigwe.